What's up, guys? It's Impre from Impre Gaming, and welcome back to an episode of Vida Las Vegas. Is that right? No. Welcome back to another episode of History With. History With, as you know, is a series where I like saying History With is a series where I don't know why, I just do it. It's fun. Can you bring it down to that? No? Okay. So why is History With so important? Because History With itself allows me to give you guys an inlook in, an insider's sight on why I feel history is important and and what I actually believe in history and why I do. Well, history has been something massive in my family. As I've told you in the past, history has been a main anchor for majority of my families. Funny haps and what we do all the time. My dad's a massive history head. My mom's a massive history head. But none of us have gone into historians as a job. The reason being, none of us really wanted to. We love history just the way it is. We don't want to discover new history. We don't want to brandish old history. History is history. That's all there is to it. So, what is history in a whole? History is something that you can produce, you can reduce, you can even increase the knowledge of. Because with history, you don't have just one history. You have an entire world of history. You could have history about, I don't know, Jesus not actually being a carpenter. Yes, I know. Oh my God, he's talking about religion. I'm not talking about religion because I want to. I'm only talking about religion because religion is part of history. And if you think about it, history and religion are technically the same thing. If you're sitting there thinking, what the hell's he on? And I made sure not to swear, so yeah, it's fun. If you're thinking, what am I talking about? Well, it's the truth. If you think about it, in the end, history and religion become the same thing. Why? Because history becomes somewhat religious. Think about it. When you get to a certain point in your life, you are led to believe that historical figures, so many historical figures, are behind most of what happens with history. So I beg a question to you. In your own opinion, what makes history so important to you? Is it your family? Is it your ancestors? Don't get me wrong, that's amazing if it is. Is it the way you try to keep everything? Is it okay? Is it how you try to keep happy in times of sadness? Or is it how one day your mom or your dad helped create a new peaceful world? You never can bear in mind, guys. I know this is a bit of a weird topic to touch, but history is never the same. It's never set in stone, never changed. History has happened. A lot of people seem to forget. History happens. History happens, and you can't change. Well, you can change it. That's only by changing the history books. But in truth, you're not meant to be able to change history, as history is important to how humans are humans. Think about it. In a world where humans run the world, how much history do we know from that world? We only know less than 20% of what the world actually is. How deep are the oceans? How mighty are the seas? How dangerous are the lakes? Like mythical creatures, we think that there's dinosaurs still in certain rivers. Can we prove that? I don't know. Why? Because I am not the one who wrote that in history. The one who wrote that in history was the historic. Ugh. Yeah, I struggle with words. Simple as I can't change that fact. It's part of my history, part of who I am. I struggle with words. It's a historic, historic. I don't know how to say it. How well. It's basically part of someone else's history they created. They didn't sit there and go, you know what? Let's create a history that's not worth it. Let's create a history that's gonna be annoying. They never thought that. I can tell you that now. They probably thought, you know what? Let's give something for my ancestors, my descendants, my family, my loved ones, just so they can feel a bit of happiness. And what did they give them? They give them the story of how they found, let's say, for instance, the Loch Ness monster. It's not fake. It's real. But that's been passed on from generation to generation. There's probably some families out there that know more in depth about stuff like that. But we can't judge people because of that. In truth, if we did that, we are no better than those people who we claim we are better than. Because we're not willing to change. Yes, there is, I will not lie, there is sometimes conflict between the generations, and there is sometimes conflict between having right and wrong. Which generation is the reason why the world's gone the way it is? I don't know myself because I am not building that history. I'm building my own history. I want to make sure my history is kept. Like everyone else would want to keep their history. It is not as it's not that complicated. It's just as simple as that. Think about it. You build a history on what you're doing now. You're watching this video. That video is not going to be part of your life. Why? Because you've watched it. You have to watch another video. What do you reckon happens? That video becomes a part of your life. Why? Because you sat down and watched it. Let's say you watched an entire TV series. What happens? That TV series becomes part of your life. Why? Because you took your time to watch it. And that TV series, don't know. It helps you find your true love. It helps. I hate the cliche part about it. It generally helps you out in the long run. But why does it? Because it's helped you find out who you are, not who someone else is. History is more about learning from it and learning who you are. Because you could have the most boring, most dull history in the world, but still be a god in your world. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say, for instance, an anime that I can't help but admit I love. And a lot of people, well, it's got a lot of controversy around it, let's just say that. And it's just one of those you can't really say no to. Why? Because it's a simple fact. History Wave was a series that made me think more about who I am as a person, more about who I will be in the future. I loved history, so I made it into a series. I loved talking, well, not really. I love being able to express myself. So I made that an idea for YouTube. Express myself to show who I am and why I do it. Who wouldn't give up that opportunity? How about this? If I told you I can give you, well, I'm English, so if I told you I can give you £1 million, but all you have to do is sit down and write an essay on why I should give you it. Would you take it? Of course you would. Why? Because who's stupid enough to give up 1 million just to write a story about themselves? You can write anything and everyone will believe it because it's about you. But if I gave you, let's say, 2 million to write a story about a previous royal, like the Queen's mother or something like that, would you take it? No, because you couldn't guarantee that you could get accurate enough. That's the problem. There's a lot of historical value there, but the historical value disappears once the person goes past what they can do. Don't take it bad, don't take it wrong. It's not bad or wrong, it's fun because it allows you to think, is it true? Can I really do that? And if you don't think like that, then it's good for you because that means you actually got a pure mind and you'd rather think about why you can do that. It's, to be honest, I will admit this now. When I was younger, it was sad to always see people ignoring history and just creating a wacky world where they think it was right and it was theirs. History has always been a main step in my family. We could never betray our history. Don't get me wrong, sometimes I wish I could. And it just for some reason always backfires. So that's why I say history is important. No matter how much you love it, history is an important feature in our lives. Like for instance, yesterday, let's go there. Yesterday, my family got pizza in for tea. I know my father doesn't like pizza. I know it's rare there, but he doesn't like pizza. Me, still got it. But since he doesn't like pizza and that's part of who he is, question: are you being adamant? Do you reckon he ate it? That would that would contradict the fact that he doesn't like pizza, wouldn't it? He did eat it, but here comes the fun part. The part that I love about history. He ate it, but he didn't eat it all. He sat there and, because he knows I like pizza and I've got to go out early in the mornings, he sat there and left some for my dinner. He didn't eat it all, so some got left. Did he have to do that? No. So why did he do that? Let's take a look at that. Why do you guys think he did that? Well, I believe he did that because he's kind enough to do it. He wanted to make sure his kids had something to eat after he left. That's why he did it. That's my opinion. Do you guys agree? No? Yeah? That's the problem. You won't know until you see the bigger picture. So, I'll ask one more question. Actually, yeah, I will ask this question at the end of the episode. It's gonna be a weird question, so bear that in mind. I don't know why I'm talking about this. I genuinely have no clue. Bear this in mind. It's a question I always ask myself. What did I achieve? What did you achieve? Did you achieve what you wanted to achieve? If you did, that's amazing. If you didn't, why? It can always be summarized why you didn't achieve or why you did achieve something. It's sad to know, but it's true. If you don't know why you didn't achieve it, I generally can't help you. But if you know why you achieved it, then it could be the easiest thing to answer. That's why history is always a complicated subject, because it's easy to always try and find a new answer, but it's hard to try and find the right answer. Do you do this and mess up, maybe? Or do you do that and stick with your guns, hoping you did it right? It's a complicated subject, history, with. You can never get it right, you can never get it wrong. So, on that note, I don't know why I've been doing this voice, by the way. Oh, so, yeah, on that note, let's get back to proper talking. As I say, I do voices because it's fun, it's interesting, and it's unique. I don't know why I stayed with that voice all that time. But let's look at it like this. History. What is it? How is history made? Is history important? Why do humans crave to know their history? Well, I can't answer that question for you guys. You just have to answer that question. And let that question just stay in your mind. Why is history important to you? Not to anyone else, but to you. If you can't answer that question, I'm sorry, I can't help you. History is not important. My history is not important to you. Your history, as much as I don't want to say this, but it's true. Your history isn't important to me. Why is that? Because history is important to only that person it entwines. So, for instance, my family history isn't important to you. Your family history is it? Doesn't affect you in any way. You're still gonna live your lives the way you want. That's why I'll say this over and over again. But anyhow, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you have, please like, comment, subscribe. That could help my history. It could help me know that you like it, so I'll keep doing the same type of stuff so you guys can enjoy them more. That's why this history is important to me. And with that, it affects what your history is, because I'm getting motivated from yous doing something for me. So I'm trying to do something back for you, for everyone else. So history is always a give and take. I don't want to sound nasty, but it is. As much as you don't want to believe it, give and take is always how history has worked. So bear in mind that when you guys are going around going, I don't want to do that because it's so and so. Bear in mind, not so and so did not make you do what you wanted. It only made you do what you knew to do. That's why history is important. Stuff like that always happens. The biggest always becomes the strongest, yeah. That might be true. But anyhow, as I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.